by the power of Grayskull. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 122. Spotlight on Masters of the Universe.
Superman.
Hello and welcome back to the Cult Faction Podcast. This week we're going to put the spotlight on Masters of the Universe, the 1987 cult classic. However, before we do all that, we've got our usual ramblings and conversations. So I am your host this evening, Damien Hicks, and I am ably assisted and joined by
Paul Hawkins
and
Brett Summers. We're your men at arms.
Yeah.
I'm Orko.
We use Orko.
No one wants to say it, but
Excuse me. So then, how's our week been? What have we been up to? What's been going down in Groove Town?
it's just been a really busy week this week. Not much going on.
No.
So
I'm
Fair
just
enough.
trying to get everything I can get done before the school holidays loom next
Oh
week.
yeah.
We break up on Wednesday, so it's getting closer now.
then school's out for summers.
Oh, it is. Get ready for that.
After your gîte in France, like all teachers,
Yeah,
just to drink wine.
like I'm going to France.
Like Emily keeps going. Is school finishing next week? No, darling. No, you got another couple of weeks to go yet. And no.
I like that already.
That was only a week.
She's looking
Yeah.
for the school holidays.
Well, I don't know if it is that she's looking at it.
How old is she now? Just for context.
So this
for
is
listeners.
her first year at school. So
Yeah.
like a
16.
year after.
It's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much have the same view.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much a week to go now. Ooh, I can almost
Oh.
feel it.
Remember those days. If only the weather would improve, but there we go. You can't have
Well,
it.
then you could just watch Dungeons and Dragons in the daytime.
And then about tea time, we can watch All Together Now. The Adventures of Bobby Rivers.
Yeah, early afternoon.
Cheeky
No,
bait.
that was early afternoon. That wasn't tea time.
That was about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
No, that's a tea at 3.
Tea time was Home and Away and Neighbours.
Yeah,
Right, it was a bit early.
just after Count Duckula.
Anyway,
Oh,
I said last week we're turning into a nostalgia podcast. Let's not do that. I know we do a lot of old films, but
Everything we do is old. We are
we are.
nostalgic.
We are, yeah. That's a very good point.
We've got our t-shirts. Oh,
No,
we've
yeah.
got Goonies, Yellowstones and Twin Peaks.
So yellow.
Oh, you're the most recent, actually.
Oh, wait, what t-shirt we
Oh,
got?
sorry, that's a hoodie. A mistake.
You get it right.
Ash.
Is it what?
Ash and the,
Evil Dead.
yeah.
Oh, not the band.
Ash Ketchum. Pokemon. No, you got Evil Dead. They're cool.
Yeah, not the band thing.
I've got the band t-shirt.
So we are
I had
nostalgic.
an Ash band t-shirt.
We are cult.
Fit me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed if it fits.
Cult in brackets or parentheses.
We're just old.
Yeah. Anyway, so your week's been work and just busy.
Yeah, and same here, really.
Same
Just
here
trying to
for
get
you.
everything done so I don't have too much in the summer.
Cool, fair enough. My week has just been sitting in here watching telly and drinking beer,
Again,
but not watching anything.
I'm noticing a pattern.
Yeah, well, I thought myself like
now the
full
football-
on.
Now the football's all done.
Now the
Ain't got
football's
much
all
to
done.
do.
Yeah, I've got a full on. What's called a blade machine. So it's like, I don't know, God knows how many litres of beer on draft. It's just great.
It's got to be about 5 or 6
It's not,
litres,
it's
isn't
not
it?
a challenge.
Something like that. Is it like 12 or 14 pints in it?
Yeah, it's about 14 pints.
Yeah.
In one day.
No, in this machine, it's great. It's brilliant.
Are you just annoyed that you have to go in there to get?
Yeah, because this. So anyone watching on YouTube, if you zoom in on the bar, it's temporary. It's not a. It's yeah. It's the old bar that I had.
Careful shaking it.
It's all the set, really.
Yeah, this is just made of polystyrene.
This breaks down in a minute and they film Newsnight.
It's like
The
Emmerdale
newscast
in
come
the
in
old
and do
days,
their
or
bit.
whatever it was. Crossroads.
Dick and Dom are in later.
All right, Brett.
Yeah. Anyway, well, if that's the case, if we got so no one's watched anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
still watching. I'm just saying work.
Oh, well, okay.
No.
You don't watch anything. You've been that busy this week.
We watched a bit of football, but we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on because I watched the very first episode of House of Dragons, the Game of Thrones spin-off, and I think I'm about 3 or 4 in now. Cause I've been trying to I find Game of Thrones.
Oh, is this season 2?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I haven't watched season 1 yet.
Okay.
It's on Sky, but you have to pay for Sky.
They've
As opposed to
learned-
on version.
They've learned.
Oh, is it Sky Atlantic?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they won't carry Sky
No.
Atlantic. That was part of
And I
their.
refuse to pay for
Like
it.
when I worked for them, they wouldn't.
Oh, you're missing out. It's great.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's good. Well, all the programs Scott Atlantic are amazing.
Well, you said
It's
great. So you like it?
It's all right. Well, I'll tell you.
What?
Well, I'm telling you now.
I'm
That it's
getting
great.
mixed messages. It's great. It's good. That's all right. I'll tell you.
I meant Sky Atlantic's great.
Oh, okay. Right.
There's lots of.
Tell us about Game of Thrones or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson from from Game of Thrones, because House of Dragon is keeping it. It's going to sound wrong, but it's keeping it a bit more simple. Whereas Game of Thrones, like that whole first season, you just met like 15 different kingdoms and had to remember who everyone was and who betrayed who and who slept with who and who was going to sleep with who or whatever. This is still kind of the.
But is it because there's no book to base it on?
There is a book to base it on.
Well, no, that's what I'm asking, because Game of Thrones was obviously based on his books.
Yeah, this is all from the books as well. Still, this is all written and if you watch Game of Thrones and pay attention to the bits where they talk about the dragon people, I forgot the name of the race now, Targaryens.
Yeah.
They've told you what's going to happen in this series already.
Yeah, but he hasn't actually written any of the books.
It's written. It's the Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, I thought that was Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but it's all Game of Thrones is like 5 or 6 books, but some parts of it they pick bits out for the TV or whatever. There is what's happening now is because they were moaning because someone posted a compilation clip of all the bits from Game of Thrones, which basically tells you when they took back of the legend of certain characters that we see in this series of what's going to happen. And people were moaning, going, "Oh, why have you done that for? It spoiled it." And someone was like, "Well, if you paid attention, it was in it anyway." And then someone posted a picture of the book going, "Well, you better not read this then, because this will ruin everything for you." But so basically, yeah, you've got the split of the royal family where you've got the good brother played by oh god, I always forget his name, Dead Man's Shoes, and all the Cornetto trilogy and all that. British actor.
Simon Pegg.
No, he's in Dead Man's Shoes as well. No, the other one. Tall bloke, Northern.
Tall bloke, Northern.
Narrows it down.
Yeah.
Only a few minutes.
He's the best friend in The World's End.
Yeah.
Oh, him.
I know his name.
Yeah.
Forgot.
It's totally gone out my head.
Move on.
And you've seen Dead Man's Shoes?
Just move on.
It rings a bell, but
Just move on.
Yeah, but he was like the king in the first series, and it's his daughter.
you carry on talking. I need to find a battery for my laptop.
And his brother, played by Matt Smith, who is very, very good at this. And David Tennant's son's in it as well. So
I've heard
there's a
good
bit
things
got
about
to
Matt
do.
Smith, to be fair.
Yeah, Matt Smith is very much, I think, it's weird because he can play like someone really well, as you saw in Doctor Who, but he can play like a real evil bastard as well. So it kind of, or a bit psycho as well. So it works well for him. But so
And there's dragons as well. And
yeah, and loads of dragons. But he split up. But what it is, where that's the main feud, you can keep your focus on that. So as
so
people
it's not jumping around between.
come in and out of that, you can sort of follow it. And watching it That's why I keep building them up. It makes it easier to follow because as different things and they go different places, it's just rather than watching
to be
one
fair,
episode.
I was a sucker for Game of Thrones. Loved it up until the last series, which was just rushed. And I probably would watch this. It's just, as I said, it's just because it's on Sky Atlantic.
But it's good though. It's not as shocking and controversial with Game of Thrones, I think. There are bits in it which you'd expect. Now, it's a bit gruesome when it needs to be gruesome.
Yeah.
It's a bit sexual when it needs to be sexual. It's a bit shocking when it needs to be shocking, but not as much. It's not as in Game of Thrones, especially in the beginning, was very much in your face with all that. Whereas this time it just kind of happens. So
Has it still got all the hype? Because Game of Thrones used to have like Throne Cast and
I don't think
all
it's
that kind of stuff.
I don't think it's as over as it was then. Because I think some people are like, "Well, we know what happens. This is just like a prequel. We know what happens though because we watch Game of Thrones." But I think it's still got a decent enough fan base. Because they're on about making another spin-off series of something else with Game of Thrones. I can't remember what it is.
They're talking about doing Jon Snow, aren't they?
I don't think that's it.
But I think that's just no one's interested.
That's just what people want. Again, it's the same with it's the Star Wars thing. Everyone just wants a series with Luke at the height of his powers doing cool Jedi shit. Whereas like, we just want Jon Snow doing stuff. It's like Jon Snow didn't want to do cool stuff. That's why he walked away at the end. Spoilers. He wasn't that person that you all thought he was. And for all you people that named your kid Daenerys, that's your fault. Always wait to the end. But it's going all right now. Phil Daniels has even popped up in this season.
Of course he has.
As a kind
Is he a Courtney geezer?
Inside number 9, though, to revitalising his career.
But he's basically like one of those, when they're having the important meetings around the table, he's like kind of well, we can't do that because the people of Outer Malonia will dispute that. They like their farming.
And Peter Beckley just like telling you fucking muppet.
And then
we can't do that.
And they're like, that's a good point, Phil Daniels, the only Cockney in Westborough.
Has this dragon got like a Union Jack and like big wing mirrors?
It's Damon Albarn's voice when it talks. And they've also got the two Carl from Shameless, who was a twin, and he had his brother who was in Emmerdale or something like that.
Yeah.
They're in it as twins as well.
Oh,
They've
cool.
got long hair and beard.
Good to see them still doing well.
Yeah, so they do it. They weren't chosen at all just because they were twins, and but they are still, of all TV twins, they're still one of the ones I find the hardest to actually tell apart. Because most of them, as they get older, life kicks in, and beer guts, tattoos, or whatever. But I think they've made a conscious effort to try and stay the same.
Well, they probably get paid a lot of money to try and stay in shape as well.
Yeah, certainly. But yeah, no, so I'm trying to think who else pops up. There's a few faces here and there, but it's all right so far. But it's heading for a big showdown.
So just so I know, has the whole season dropped, or are you just catching up with
there's one every week.
Right, okay, so it's still ongoing.
They're doing the thing like where it appears on Sky at like 2 a.m, like the same time it does in America, like they did with Game of Thrones. And but I just let a few go because I just find it easier to follow if I just binge 2 or 3 in a row, rather than try and remember next week what Sir Matthew of Hemmendale had to do with giving some flowers to someone 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And then walking off screen and then walking back on screen or some random shit. Because there is a little bit of that still, but it's all right though. It's doing its job, and as I say, I think they learnt their lesson through Game of Thrones a little bit, and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. But this is going to be, I think, how they wrap this up for this season might impact on whether or not there's a next season.
Oh, really?
Approved already. But I just can't see. Even though I know how it's supposed to end because they revealed it, Joffrey told everyone in Game of Thrones the legend of it. I can't see, you can have this feud thing going on so long, but in a minute, someone's got to just try and kill someone else. You can't just.
Yeah, but how many books were there then?
I think it's just one chunky novel because he used to write big doorsteps.
Yeah,
didn't he? So it's like.
Because that was the thing with Game of Thrones, they always struggled to keep up with the books. No.
He
Rob
still hasn't written the last one.
No, yeah.
Everyone's like, you're 88 now, please write it. And now, yeah, so that...
He's sat there sipping pina coladas.
Yeah. Fuck off, I'm getting AI to write all my books from now on.
Yeah. Well, he cameoed in one of the Sharknadoes, didn't he? Where he's in the cinema and then the shark comes through the screen and eats him.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's just sat there watching cinema and the Sharknado rips through the cinema and like just eats him and he's going, oh. So he's definitely having fun with it.
Yeah.
He don't give a shit. But yeah, it is worth a watch. But it's nothing different than what you've already seen in some ways.
I guess you don't want it to be too different because people have been invested into the world.
And they use the same theme tune still, so I mean they paid money for that, isn't it?
Good.
And but yeah, where it goes next, I don't know.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
Nah, not much. Really, as I say, just trying to get everything done before the school holidays. Operation School Holidays is in effect. What about yourself?
All right, for some. No, nothing.
Okay.
Seems like we managed to catch up on the last 2 episodes of Outer Range. Yeah, I got it right first time this time.
It's only been like 2 months.
I've been watching nothing cult related that was worth.
No, exactly. Cool. Although I've gone back and watched a couple of episodes that I missed of Beyond Paradise purely because I'm off to Lou next week.
Okay.
I want to go and take my
You
picture
get a picture
outside
in
the
that
police
fucking
house.
doorway, you bastard!
Yeah.
I want that.
I mean, I've been there hundreds of times, but now it's even more.
Yeah, it's cool now.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, in that case,
See if there's any merch. Sort it out.
any merch?
There'll be some in there.
A Death in Paradise mug or something.
No, he wants a brick.
Yeah.
Give me a brick from the house, will you?
From the real house.
Yeah.
This is the brick that killed so-and-so in episode 6.
Screen news. Okay, well then in that case, we're going to move on to Spotlight.
Do it. Turn that spotlight on. My eyes.
Produced by Canon Films and directed by Gary Goddard, Masters of the Universe is loosely based on the hugely successful He-Man franchise from Mattel.
Very loosely.
Made on a budget of 22 million and only managing to gross 17 million worldwide, it was panned by critics and audiences alike. However, in the intervening years, it's become something of a cult classic. Production was plagued with problems. Mattel insisted that He-Man does nothing immoral. Dolph Lundgren's vocals were so bad that at one point another actor was planned to dub over it in post-production, but his contract stipulated that they couldn't do that, so that never happened. The soundtrack had to be recorded across different orchestras across Europe due to a musician strike in the US, and Mattel delayed payment for production, calling a halt to filming, and Goddard had to finance some scenes himself to get the film completed.
Oh, what a palaver.
Yeah. So, main cast, Dolph Lundgren is He-Man. Frank Langella is Skeletor. Meg Foster, Evil-Lyn. James Tolkan is James Tolkan. Courteney Cox is, forgot her name already. It's not Jennifer. What is it?
I can't even remember. Something about Bruce Springsteen.
Julie,
thank you. And you got, I'm about to say Billy Bathgate. You got Billy Livingston as, I want to say Charlie, but it's not even Charlie. It just reminds you of Charlie from
Chocolate Factory.
No, what's the vampire thing where he's a vampire next door?
Oh, you mean
Fright Night.
Fright Night, yeah. I don't know why. He just reminds me of Charlie in Fright Night. So that's the main cast. There's a few others that pop up, but
You missed. Did you say?
no, I didn't.
Duncan McNeil.
No, I didn't.
He's one of the main ones.
What's he?
He is Kevin, the Courtney Cox's kind of boyfriendy type character. He ended up years later was in Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, okay.
And you missed out Chelsea Field as Tila. She didn't get that role because she's married to Scott Bakula. And
Cool.
the Sorceress.
Oh yeah, Christina Pickles. I do apologise.
Ross and Rachel's mum.
He did say some of the main cast.
Yeah,
didn't
I
he?
didn't. You know,
Oh yeah, so no,
Who was the key grip, Damien?
no, I don't know. You know, I did have that written down somewhere.
I did have just to shout because he's my favourite one. Anthony DeLongis as Blade because he's been in like loads of stuff.
Sorry, I don't go full on.
He's always been like the stunty dude who fights for. He's been in like
I'm sure he has, and good for him.
yeah. But anyway, sorry,
It's all right.
I've interrupted.
You have, that's fine. Let's just get straight through the plot, shall we?
Do we not want to do memories?
Oh yeah, sorry, we do that, don't we? It's been a week. So, Paul, what are your memories of this film?
I remember absolutely loving it. Because, you know, it was one of those times we didn't have many channels on TV. We were bound by what we could get on VHS and not have brothers wipe over. So, yeah, this was one of the videos that I would have had and watched on repeat because, you know, you were crying out for some stuff that you liked. And it was this or... yeah.
Beastmaster.
Huh?
Beastmaster.
No, not Beastmaster. Probably Bugs in the Loaf or something. Yeah. Yeah, no, so yeah, I remember watching this a lot. Even then, you know, I knew that it didn't compare to the cartoon, but it was, you know, it's just like a drug addict wanting a little bit of a fix of what it could have been like.
Cool. Mr. Summers?
I went to cinema to see this, and looking back now, I'm pretty sure I was convincing myself to like it. I remember having all the stickers and things afterwards, that the sticker album, and that. But even then, it was. I think this was my first taste of why would you make a film something but make it different to the series?
Mm.
And it was that kind of maybe this is what's created the monster I am now. I don't know, but this is one of those like it was kind of good, but it wasn't really He-Man. And why was like
Where was Battle Cat and where was Orko?
Orko, yeah.
Because you didn't realise that actually didn't have the budget to do it. Yeah.
But I know one of the cool things in the Kevin Smith Netflix cartoon of He-Man where they've carried on from the original series, and it's really good if you actually watch it and don't just moan because like they made Tilo pretty cool in it as well. Gwildor does appear. They canon him officially in the. They have to go to him for help.
Cool.
And all that, and so Gwildor does. They do tie it into the film, like, but yeah, I just remember that kind of. I think I liked it, but I wasn't happy with it. Kind of vibe where you're like, and I think over that time I was trying to convince myself that it was good. Because I think I liked Skeletor, but I thought everything else was not very good.
You just didn't know what to do when you walked out because there wasn't a public service announcement or anything like that.
I remember years later.
How can I live my life without He-Man telling me what to do?
I came out of the cinema and crossed the road without leaving a look.
Yeah.
And that was the days before you realised there was something at the end of the credits as well. Like, years later, I found that out. And I really do remember thinking that the lady in it was awful. I was like, yeah, and they had that woman in it, and she was like, she was awful, and Tila was hardly in it properly. And like, yeah, so sorry, Courtney. But yeah, it was that weird feeling of like trying to convince myself it was good.
Fair enough.
And you?
Pretty much the same. I was a massive He-Man fan when I was a kid, so I'd have been 10, maybe 11 when this came out. I mean, you know, for those of you watching on YouTube, Castle Grayskull's up there. Snake Mountain is over there. I don't think Snake Mountain's in shot. He-Man's on the windowsill behind the blinds.
All over, you got a
He-Man's there. So yeah. And I remember being disappointed with everything bar Skeletor. Skeletor actually scared me shitless, to be fair, at 10 years old.
So what year was this again? This was
87, so
87.
Yeah, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, so we would have just had as well, in the He-Man world, we would have just about had the Secret of the Sword movie as well, where they revealed the whole She-Ra line of it, and the twin sister and all that. She had all that cool stuff on the cartoon side of it. I think it was released as a film, or was it just like 5 parts as a long episode? I can't remember now either. But I remember having the video of it like as a film though. So you had all that, and then do you know what? It's the same feeling in my stomach when I watched the first Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad it's on the screen and it kind of looks cool, but it's not quite what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I put it with. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm just working myself through the trauma. I think this is therapy. Let's see where this turns and goes.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so based on that, let's go through the plot and see if our attitude has changed.
Okay, so setting the scene. Sunday morning. Connor, what are you watching? YouTube? Yeah, I know you are. Why don't we put on a film? No, I don't know. What do you want to watch? How about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? What's that? You remember those toys that I got you upstairs that are really cool? They got you for you at Christmas. I mean, Santa got you for you at Christmas. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, right. So on the couch, Sunday morning, He-Man starts. He didn't pick up on the intro title screens with the rubbishy effects coming in. Good. Okay, so we've got past that.
Hang on, don't. One good thing about this is that matte painting of Grayskull I thought was pretty cool.
No, it's just the letters coming in.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Yeah, because even in 87 or 86 when this came out, looking back, that looks really dated.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the planet Eternia, yes, we're back. At the centre of the universe, the forces of Skeletor have managed to seize control over Castle Grayskull and capture the sorceress of Grayskull. Skeletor is planning to exploit Grayskull's hidden powers when the Great Eye of the Galaxy, a portal at the castle's throne room, opens and Eternia's moon is correctly aligned with it. After torturing the sorceress for a few seconds, Skeletor activates the Coliseum?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what he said then. So it sounded like Coliseum, so...
To project his image across Eternia and decrees anyone that does not declare allegiance to him will be destroyed. He-Man watches on from a mountaintop.
Yeah, dramatic opening. Again, Skeletor I had no problem with, and reading about it, Frank Langella jumped at this, didn't he?
Yeah,
rocked it.
I mean, to be fair, Frank Langella is doing Shakespeare. Everyone else is doing Monday Night at the Palladium or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was wasn't it like his son's favourite show, essentially?
Yeah.
He basically said, like, I'll do it for whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like, fair play to him. And he still says now, apparently, this is one of the best roles he ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that man's got quite a CV.
Yeah. He gives it his all. He's just fantastic.
If they'd done a Skeletor film,
yeah,
and gone off a bit of a tangent, that would have been cool.
Maybe we'll get the Skeletor cut one day. Hashtag Skeletor cut. But yeah, and the sorceress, yeah, those few seconds she's tortured really hurt her.
We don't know how long she's been tortured, to be fair, or how he's torturing her.
He's making her watch the.
I don't know. I suppose it could be like the pit of despair in Princess Bride, where it just saps the energy from your entire body.
She's watching the dailies of this.
And we get the little glimpse of He-Man.
Yeah, who looks pretty much nonplussed about.
Well, I was going to say, hold on. You're supposed to be protecting Grayskull. Why are you on a bloody mountaintop? You should be, over that way.
You're the defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull.
Yeah. And where's Orko? You could have opened up the
and
portal.
pretty much anyone else that was in the cartoon.
Anyway.
Where's King Randall? But, yeah. So, where are those people? Well, it turns out that the Eternian forces are scattered and outnumbered. And one of Skeletor's patrols is attacked by Eternia's greatest warrior and Skeletor's archenemy, He-Man. Alongside him is veteran soldier, man-at-arms, and his daughter, Teela. During the battle, He-Man rescues a
Fenorian.
inventor and locksmith named Gwildor, who reveals to his rescuers his newest invention, a cosmic key, which can open a portal to any location in time and space by playing musical notes. Basically, it's a sort of a special keytar. Sort of plays demos. Skeletor stole the key from him and used it to get into Castle Grayskull, but Gwildor kept the prototype. So Gwildor leads the others into a secret passageway straight to the castle. He knows a lot, this Gwildor does.
Yeah. He's like in a horror film or whatever. He's the librarian you go to who knows or the museum curator who knows everything about the history of this amulet that you've discovered.
Was it just me though, or did he remind anyone else of the troll in the Trolls film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the way his lips don't move when he talks as well.
The same bloke. But yeah, this was kind of like, he's cool, but where's Orko? I remember that as a kid, like, and watching it now, yeah. I mean, it looks great, and he's doing his best at it. The bloke, I forget his name now, but it's not He-Man. Even the battles don't. Eternia's not the Eternia we know.
No.
Well, I just like the fact that they've got an army. Where do they come from? They were never in all of the blooming cartoons. It was always He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Teela saving the day. They didn't have an army.
No.
We know now why.
Yeah.
Well, these are all the grunts, aren't they? I expect that all the big time heroes like Stratos and Fisto and all those ones are like off doing other things.
Fisto's off fisting
Ram
someone.
Man. I can't think of any more now.
Anyway.
Manny faces.
Anyway. So at Grayskull, the group is surrounded by Skeletor and his troops. Gwildor uses his key to open a random gateway through which the group escapes to Earth. But on arriving there, the key is lost and the Eternians split up to find it. Nearby, a pair of teenagers named Julie, Courteney Cox, and Kevin, Robert Duncan McNeil, there you go, I've name-checked him now, discover the key in a crater and start pressing its buttons.
As you do.
As you do. And at this point, you get the nice little background story that Julie's lost her parents in a plane crash and it's all her fault. If she'd have gone to the beach, they wouldn't have flown to the beach. They'd have got in a car or something, I don't know.
But anyway, let's have some chicken.
Yeah. I like the way she's so when we first meet Courteney Cox's character, she's planning on leaving Kevin.
Yeah.
And yet he's the one that picks her up from work.
Yeah. She brings him dinner.
Yeah, she brings him dinner. She's gonna go watch him in his sound check. When there's no one. I mean, how you do a sound check for a band when none of the other band members are there?
Well, he's that good. He can play.
Bloody keyboard player, isn't he?
Yeah.
She just wants.
They don't need anyone else.
No.
She just wants to dance on stage. And yeah, it's just cheesy 80s awfulness, the whole bit of this, and it's like, it was almost to me like it was taking a bit out of Gremlins, like the.
But again,
like Christmas.
But I was watching that thinking very much the same thing, and I didn't diss Phoebe Cates, and it's a very similar kind of role.
Yeah, she's to that.
Well, I don't. Yeah, maybe.
She just does that kind of longing, kind of weird sort of look to the almost to the camera as well. It's like, I'm being emotional now.
It was more the fact that they threw in a lot there. She's leaving, and they don't really seem fussed that they're having a last date, and it's not really a date. It's literally just chicken watching him sound check, and then she's disappearing in the morning. Her parents have died, but
they didn't have a Gwildor to drop all the plots.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't really seem to have the best relationship going. Anyway, moving on. At Grayskull, Skeletor's second in command, Evil-Lyn, who I think I'm on board with at this moment. I think she actually did an alright job of Evil-Lyn, let's face it.
Well, she didn't have a lot to do, did she?
She's also a very good actress.
Yes, I mean, she's got a stare.
Yeah. He's got the key. Get in.
Because she's in They Live as well.
She was,
No, I think she's even in No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. That classic movie.
Yeah.
So Evil-Lyn tracks the key to Earth and prepares a small team of mercenaries to recover it. She makes the point that that they consist of Sorod, Blade, Beastman, and their leader, Karg. Not really much of a leader. Kevin and Julie are spending the evening at their high school. Because Julie is moving away that night following the deaths of her mother and father in a plane crash and wants to say goodbye to Kevin and the rest of her friends, who don't show up. However, Kevin is curious about the key and thinking it to be a Japanese synthesizer. He takes it away to a music store to get a second opinion, leaving Julie alone on their last night together.
Yeah. At least he wasn't holding the synthesizer above his head outside of her bedroom. It was just like, cause that's what it would be. It would be a Japanese synthesizer.
Of course.
Of course. Don't make that stuff in America.
All the best stuff's made in Japan.
Oh, it's just that tune all the way through it. Anyway, a portal then opens with the mercenaries storming into the school gym. Julie narrowly escapes and ends up in a scrapyard. He-Man is searching nearby and hears Julie in distress. So He-Man attacks the accompanying troops and saves Julie, and Man-at-Arms and Teela chase the mercenaries away. On the return to Grayskull, Skeletor is infuriated by the mercenaries' failure and kills Sorod. He then sends them back to Earth with a larger force under the command of Evil-Lyn.
Yeah, interesting ways that they're storming into the school gym. When they come through the portal, they each get their 2 seconds of fame where they do this like weird
sort of almost look at the camera,
almost a Spider-Man pose.
That's right. They'll jump through that door.
Yeah. And then go off. And these great warriors can't kill
or anything.
A 16 however old she is, high school kid.
Because she's made of wood, their weapons don't hurt her.
Which we're not really surprised that they can't defeat He-Man after all those years if they can't kill her. And then He-Man turns up with his sword and has a little bit of a sword fight without much action.
Sounds like an Elvis song.
Okay, while in the music shop, Kevin hears the sirens and finds out it's a disturbance at the school. He rushes back to see the janitor loaded onto an ambulance and Detective Lubrick, leading the case. Lubrick and Kevin head to Julie's house. While searching, Julie calls the house and she reveals to Kevin the importance of the cosmic key, but Lubrick confiscates it from Kevin, suspecting it to be stolen. Immediately afterwards, Evil-Lyn capture and interrogate Kevin, then leave to acquire the key from Lubrick.
Oh, how someone always gets involved and misunderstands what's going on. Oh.
I mean, at some point, I'm expecting Detective Lubrick to say, "I'll have you right where I am, in detention." He literally is just Strickland.
I was waiting for him to say, "If you mess with a bull, you get the horns." It almost goes that far, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just like, what can we do to make this 10 minutes longer? And you get the little added, like, it's not even farcical. It's just because someone comes in, he takes the key now, and now he's got it locked in his office, where intergalactic warriors can't get anywhere near it.
They're not intergalactic warriors. They live on the planet Eternia. They just
but they've just travelled through space.
Doesn't it automatically make you a
magical weapons?
Dynamite?
But you can't get into the headmaster's office or whatever.
They're not used to office, are they? They're probably not used to doors.
Doors being locked.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think Gwildor's so successful. He's created a key.
Yeah. He's a locksmith.
I don't know why they need it.
Gwildor remembers a time he didn't even have to lock doors.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just... Yeah. I don't know. It just grated me so much, that bit. it was like they always put these things in just to make it longer. So let's just get to the bit we want. No one wants this bit. This is your recent episode, like last week you were talking about the Acolyte. This is that bit of that episode. It's just padded in.
They need a bit of story.
Yeah. The amount of money they're spooting up here that you'd think they'd turn this bit down and save it for the battle.
Well, this might have been one of the scenes that you had to pay for himself. You never know.
That's true. Maybe actually, yeah, maybe it was too short. And
they might have had a big battle sequence, with big shootout with Lubeck. They could afford it. Okay, Julie, along with He-Man and his comrades, meet up with Kevin and then proceed to the aforementioned music store where Lubeck has taken the key for expert advice.
So he's gone to the same music,
yeah,
because you would after you confiscate something. You go, rather than I'm confiscating someone's personal property and I should keep it locked in the drawer to get back to him, I'm going to take it and see what I can find out about it.
No, he does say he's going to find out some more information, and if your story checks out, you can have it back.
Yeah, but
he's just doing a detective job, isn't he?
Yeah, he's chasing down all the leads.
Well, he's gone to Julie's house to make sure she's not there. He's had his chicken blow up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit discombobulated. He's just got back onto the scent of the trail.
Yeah, but he's Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. He doesn't need to be there.
And he's probably trying...
It affects the plot in no way.
He's also got a police salary. He's probably thinking, am I going to see how much I can make out of this?
It's just a 20 minutes of everyone ending up back in the same spot.
All right.
Yeah. Lubeck expects the Eternians to be responsible for the attack at the school and attempts to arrest them. Big mistake. Huge. But is interrupted by the arrival of Evil-Lyn and her troops. A battle ensues, during which Evil-Lyn, masquerading as Julie's dead mother, persuades her to steal the key Julie gives. Julie gives her the key, which Evil-Lyn uses to open another doorway, through which Skeletor arrives on Earth. Yes, he's bringing the full force.
So what happened to the key Skeletor had? I missed that bit.
No, it allows him to have the coordinates to get to...
No, but he had a key to start with to get into Grayskull.
Yeah, but so in her activating it, gives him the coordinates to
so then key. He can turn... Yeah. Got you. Even though he didn't need that to send the troops there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now he's got the doorway in which he can bring his float along for the big parade.
Yeah, it does get a bit Ivan Ooze-ish. Although that was later. But obviously He-Man can't kill people, so he has to kill robots.
Yep.
Because Hasbro did have Mattel even so. Mattel, I don't know if many toy owners ever had that much of a grip on their property in a film, TV show or movie. Because they literally just dictated everything in this, didn't they? They were like, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Yeah, but then you think about it, most of it's the other way around, isn't it? Film first, toy later.
Yeah. No, but I mean, normally when they make something, like when they've even made other animated films, they've kind of gone off and made it, and then they've just made toys to go along with it. Whereas Hasbro were like, He-Man will not do this.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because it was the toys first.
Yeah.
They made the cartoon.
Yeah, but most people don't give a shit because it's a film coming out. And they're like, yes, please. Give us that fat cash.
They were very precious about their He-Man property.
Well, they were. That worked out well for them in the long run. But
yeah.
Just seems we could have missed He-Man doing some cool shit rather than just slicing that possibly the same robot.
Picking up and throwing people.
But anyway, He-Man manages to retrieve the key back from Evil-Lyn, but Skeletor captures his friends and, as you do, threatens to kill them unless He-Man surrenders unconditionally.
Yep.
Being the brave man he is, He-Man surrenders and returns to Eternia with Skeletor. But during the course of these events, Julie is mortally injured by Skeletor's magic, and the second key is damaged. Gwildor tries to repair it, but says that the tomes needed to return to Eternia were erased. Kevin, an amateur musician, however, remembers them and uses a keyboard to recreate the tones and open a portal. He is persuaded by Lubric.
Pursued.
He is pursued by Lubric, who continues to seek the arrest of him and the Eternians, despite all the shit that just happened.
I love this bit. This is if only I had a gubbin and a ding dong. Oh, I've got a gubbin and a ding dong attached to my arm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I still need a ding dong and a gubbin. Oh, I've got this one, and yeah. So classic. Everyone comes together.
If only I had a tone master.
This is
what? Someone that knows music. Oh, I just happen to be a musician. Why didn't you say?
This reminded me of the bit in Mars Attacks when they're in Vegas and they're like, and it's like Tom Jones and a few other people now. I can't remember who the other ones are now. And it's like, well, we've got a helicopter, we've got a plane, we just don't know, we can't find a pilot. And Tom Jones is like,
I need a whiz, carry on without me.
Okay. Tom Jones is like, I can fly a plane.
Yeah.
Like, oh, brilliant. And it's just still very tongue-in-cheek in that part, but not so much in this case.
But we had the great tones again. That was I could still, before watching this, I could still remember it to this day.
Yeah, no, it is very much. I wonder if that sequence was copyrighted.
Yeah, and we did miss out. We didn't talk about it, but the flying hoverboard scenes. You know.
Yeah.
I remember on Saturday morning TV, that would be the trailer shot that you see, and at the time thinking, great special effects. That is so cool.
The thing is, some of it is really good. Some of it is a bit cheesy, but it's. You could put up with it in that. Again, we're only a few years after like Beastmaster and that we talked about last week and all the sword and sorcery stuff. I mean, Legend was about just before this as well. The Tom Cruise,
I think it was,
stuff like that. But so it holds up in some way, especially when you look at stuff like Kroll and Lord the Slayer. But then there's other bits where it just, because they went like He-Man wasn't allowed to kill anyone and they couldn't show this and that, it kind of, when it is a big battle, it's kind of like everyone's, it's a bit like, reminds me a bit like EastEnders. You're in the East End of London, something terrible happens, and then everyone meets up and says a few shouty things at each other and no one swears.
Yeah.
But it misses that bit of like that impact of like...
But also, and this was the same for a lot of family films at the time, they had laser guns, so you didn't see necessarily blood. It was bang, and normally it was just like a little.
Yeah, but He-Man's got a big MFing sword.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. As opposed to him using the sword and chopping off an arm or stabbing, he deflect the bullet.
Or maim a robot or something like that.
Yeah.
And Courteney Cox's mortal injuries were probably some of the best acting I've ever seen.
The only other thing, the actual special effects for the poison was actually quite good.
True.
It was all bubbly and some of Gremlins.
Almost very much of it.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good actually.
Yeah.
But it was more her. And it's just like.
That might have been the poison, numbing her.
But again, Gwildor is the only guy that actually does anything in this whole film.
Who hates adventures.
Yeah, it's Gwildor versus Skeletor. That's what this film is. Everyone else is just sort of, they're just placeholders. That's the true battle for Eternia.
Well, I don't know. Lubric kicks ass in one of the next scenes.
That's true. What does he do, Dane?
Well, this is it. Sorry, to go back to your point. He-Man's hardly in this film.
Yeah, so
he's supposedly the star. I mean, I know the film is called Masters of the Universe. It's not called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe like the cartoon. But he's supposed to be the star, the hero. He's hardly in it.
Yeah, but remember, he's probably back on Eternia at the same time being Adam. So he's probably jumping between Eternia and Earth, you see.
They don't even mention that. That's the thing, there's not even one that when the films was coming out, all we thought was how they're going to do the transformation. They didn't.
No.
Just like, talk about missing the point.
Unless, now they could call it a prequel. Because He doesn't even say I have the power until the end of the film. So maybe... Anyway. On Eternia, Skeletor declares victory as he forces chain He-Man as he's chained He-Man to the floor of the Great Hall. After a witty exchange with Sorcerer, Skeletor informs He-Man that upon receiving the powers of the universe, He-Man must kneel before him for the people of Eternia to witness.
I won't kneel.
In a move of defiance, He-Man refuses. Not accepting his response, Skeletor orders Blade to torture him with a
Laser whip.
I was thinking Hollow Whip from Red Dwarf, but yeah, Laser Whip, which they almost managed to get it to sync up, but not quite. When the Great Eye opens, Skeletor absorbs an enormous amount of power from the universe and is transformed into an armoured warrior god, claiming himself Master of the Universe. He continues to try to force He-Man to swear allegiance to him, but is interrupted by the arrival of He-Man's friends, Kevin and Lubric, Kevin's friends plus Kevin and Lubric, who arrive through the portal they managed to open.
And a lot of the wall and grounds they're on.
Yeah.
So as opposed to just walking through a portal, now that it's damaged, it takes everything.
Yeah. Which on that very first shot looks a bit. It's like, well, they're not there. It looks like it's failed, but oh no, it pans out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's probably a good job too because they've got a wall to hide behind and a car.
And a car, yeah.
Cool. Okay, He-Man is.
It was awful.
You what?
It was awful.
He-Man is freed and, along with his friends, engages Skeletor's forces in combat. Lubick, despite not understanding what's going on, just deal with it, Lubick. This is real. Defeats several of Skeletor's minions with his shotgun. Evil-Lyn, Karg, and Beastman decide to desert Skeletor and escape. Which, to be fair, that's something Evil-Lyn would do.
Yeah.
He-Man breaks Skeletor's staff. Not really Master of the Universe, then, is he? Causing him to lose his newfound power. Skeletor continues to engage He-Man with his sword, but as a result is vanquished by falling into a deep pit.
Yeah. The coolest bit of that, I remember when Blade gets like both swords out, and that was like really cool. And
the problem is that Lundgren can't actually use a sword.
No,
So,
and it looks far too heavy.
even for him.
Yeah,
it's not like a lot of them that they make like the light one that you can use for the fighting, and then the heavy one for up close or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, he's wielding a great sword with a guy with two swords, and it's kind of 6-year-olds with sticks fighting.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be
Choreography.
any choreography.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, maybe if you do this and you, we'll sort it out as we go.
Yeah, it was more of a Obi-Wan v Vader in Star Wars New Hope, as opposed to Darth Maul.
Yeah.
The later ones.
right, anyway, with Skeletor defeated, we're about to get a big shovel of shit to put on top of this pile of horse manure. For after He-Man's victory, Julie is healed by the sorceress, which seeing them on screen together is all quite weird now, as their mother and daughter and friends. And along with Kevin, they say goodbye.
No, they don't. They say good journey.
Good journey. It's all the one. Before leaving through a doorway back to Earth. Lubric is also hailed as a hero for his part in the battle and met a beautiful Eternian woman, so he decides to stay there. He knows he's cashed his chips. He
knows where his bread is buttered now. He's a hero of Eternia.
Luckily for him, no one in Eternia had invented the shotgun. So he's now like...
That's like Evil Dead 2. That would have been cool if he came back with a chainsaw.
Did he ever come back from Eternia? Because I don't remember being in much after this, apart from the Back to the Future film.
Yeah, he came. Yeah, he went back to being a teacher because Back to the Future 2's.
Wasn't he in Gremlins 2 for a little bit as well?
I don't know. Cause any other one is the old boy who's really famous. We've got a whole thing on him. in Gremlins 2. Dick.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
Move
not
on.
important.
You can't remember it in
We're
3
here for
seconds.
He-Man.
But anyway, yeah, so he stays in Eternia because the man's getting some. Then we cut back to Earth where Julie awakens in her bed. And because it's a kid's film, I guess, or the power of the sorceress, or whatever you want to call it, she finds her parents downstairs, alive and well, and about to take that fateful flight on which they would die. Julie stops them from leaving and then finds Kevin, who confirms their shared experience was not a dream. And he holds out a souvenir from Eternia, a blue marble-sized sphere showing the image of He-Man in front of Castle Grayskull, holding up his sword above his head, pointing up, yelling, "I have the power!" And then the credits roll, and then at the end of the credits, in one of the most modern after-credits scenes, Skeletor's head pops out of some pink liquid at the bottom of the pit he was thrown into, and he says, "I'll be back."
Yeah. So
and
again,
he never was.
No.
despite okay, so there's 2 things. Okay, so yeah, they go back in time, but to be fair, I'm thinking, Gwildor spent some time with Julie.
Well, they say, do you want to go back to...
Exactly.
No. But
Are you
there's
sure?
a Gwildor
So I think he knows.
kind of has this sly look.
And I know she, as she's going through the portal, she says, "Oh, Gwildor, send me back in." And yeah, that doesn't happen. But I like to think he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He's being polite and
That's
friendly.
Gwildor as
It's
well.
all about Gwildor.
But the problem I have with this bit, okay, so from the previous scene, the key's broken and it, sends the whole chunk of the Earth back with them. Now,
Has he had time to fix it? Like,
Now, not
the
only-
impression might be a
But
little bit
has he now got his hands on the original, because it's the prototype that got broken? Is he now got his hands on Skeletor's
key.
version?
yeah, but this doesn't just open a portal to the past. This actually sends them back to where they were in the past.
Time and space.
Mm.
No, but it's not time and space, is it? This is literally just sending their consciousness back to them in the past.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah? So they don't open a
So,
portal in
strictly
the past.
speaking,
and
there
see
should be
two-
two Julies
Yeah.
and 2 Kevins.
So that was the biggest flaw I picked
Yeah,
up.
that's a good point. I hadn't picked up on that.
They never thought of that.
Yeah.
That sounds good for what you said, but that's not what they were thinking. They were just like, and now like our parents are alive again, everyone's happy. Look, kids, everyone's alive.
But we all know what should have happened is Gwildor sends them back to the morning. Julie's still in bed asleep. Julie 1. Julie 2 then goes and steals the keys. They then go back through the portal. Everyone's happy.
And
That
Ted
time that
doesn't go
continues.
to military school.
Yeah, so that was a flaw. The only one. In
Yeah, Julie should have gone back and killed that Julie so that she could take over the life of...
And then Ted does go to military school and becomes John Wick.
Yeah.
We've solved it. Oh man, this is... it was just... It's not my He-Man hashtag.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say.
And again, this goes to that whole thing, and it still happens now. People spend lots of money getting their hands on some sort of franchise, and then do something different with it. No, we liked it out. Well, that's why it was popular. Ghostbusters wasn't, girls. I can't think of any more now. I think of the posters right in front of me. This wasn't my He-Man. That's why everyone's like, why did Deadpool work? They made it, he did exactly what he did in the comics. They didn't need to change him or go, do you know what would be funny if we had Deadpool? Let's make him a lady and let's make him Irish and he wears a totally different outfit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what they did here. Okay, Dolph Lundgren was, after Rocky IV, was, quite well known and probably the best person who probably looked like He-Man should. But
Yeah, but even this was 4 years after. Rocky 4?
Yeah, but I think it was more or less the first big job after.
That's what I mean, but it's not like he's
just,
like off the back of, straight, like, oh, he's the hot star now. It's 4 years since he was the
Rocky.
Drago?
Ivan Drago, yeah.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies. But it's just... This film is a lesson to Hollywood that if you're going to dabble a franchise, make it like what people want.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the only thing is, from Damien's opening pitch, we know that there was troubles going on from the production.
Well, so Canon,
It was budgeting.
Canon had recently acquired Spider-Man rights, and their plan was to make He-Man and the He-Man this film, and plus Superman Quest for Peace.
Yeah,
is that
Superman
4?
4, the Quest for Peace, yeah.
God.
And use the profits from those films to make a big budget Spider-Man.
Boy, did they gamble wrong.
Yeah. And they also had a sequel lined up for this, where He-Man has to return to Earth for some reason, and he's a quarterback. He has to come back as a quarterback.
That's Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
Reverse.
yeah, exactly. Which eventually I think got turned into Cyborg. Because they didn't want He-Man. They didn't want Dolph Lundgren back, but it was in his contract that if they made a sequel to.
He wasn't stupid, was he?
No.
He probably had, Stallone's people on it or something. They were quite funny. I know in the comic book there was an alternative ending that was never filmed in the movie, which is after the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, Man-at-Arms comes from the depths of Castle Grayskull carrying a NASA and United States flag that says Starfinder 5, July 10, 2221. And basically saying that like the first humans to return here were future American space astronauts to try and make it a bit more timey-wimey and trippy.
Yeah.
But that obviously got knocked on the head. And the Snake Man and She-Ra were in the early scripts as well, but they got taken out because they already had enough shit in it. Not really. There's just lots of notes still about how much Frank Langella, even in interviews now, when they talk about roles he's in, Skeletor he loved it.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
Yeah, he had the best time of his life making that film, while everyone else had the worst.
Well, I don't know if they had the worst. They were just.
Well, I mean, the people like trying to get the money for it, making it. Yeah, and, other people probably had enjoyed themselves and had a wonderful day. And if you look at all of them and what they all went on to, you can see, Well, Tila married Scott Bakula.
Courteney Cox became multi-millionaire.
Yeah, and became the daughter of the sorceress, which was Tila, really. But
yeah,
probably that counts one of my votes. But Lundgren didn't do much after this for a while, did he?
No, not for a good couple of years until he popped up in Arrow.
When was the soldier one with
Universal Soldier?
Yeah, when was that?
That was still after.
That was
a couple of years after this. Yeah.
Early 90s. Yeah, so he did cut back.
Yeah, he was still in films after this.
Yeah.
They just weren't very good, or they went straight to video, or there was the Maximum Potential workout video released after this as well, which is the only reason I remember it. It was the first thing that was produced by Quentin Tarantino. So if you can find it now, it's actually worth a few quid because, I don't think anyone bought it anyway. But it was just like, it's got value now just because of that. But it just, I don't know. We still want a decent He-Man movie. The Kevin Smith cartoon has been really, really good. I've enjoyed watching that. That cause it follows it on and has kind of moved characters along as well as it's gone.
Maybe next year.
But who who would? Oh, it's going to be 4 again, isn't it? It's going to be Chris Hemsworth. Who else Who could be He-Man now? Because Dolph Lundgren maybe could be the king now. Jason Momoa, if they wanted to bleach him, maybe. Who's your He-Man now?
I don't know. They might get a sports guy with it. You never
It's
know.
been announced who's doing it.
Huh?
There's
Oh, is it?
some English guy, yeah.
I didn't realise this was serious because every year there's a.
No.
We're going to do a
Yeah.
mask. We're going to do a He-Man. So it's
I can
definitely.
tell you who.
confirmed.
I haven't got all that information in front of me.
Okay. But hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes of the past. Hopefully they'll learn from the Transformers debacle. And hopefully they'll just make and more from the Kevin Smith type He-Man, and we'll have something decent.
Just keep something in the lure it's in. Like I say, the Girl Ghostbusters film would have been really good if they were just their daughters and they tied it in. You had that little handover, cool.
Yeah.
Or in the next Ghostbusters film, they could bring it in as a multiversy thing because everyone else is. Cool, I'm happy with that. But it was just the fact they were quite arrogantly prepared to shit on everything that came before it and ignore it and go, no, this is it now, even though they had everyone there anyway. Everyone was so. It wasn't like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray don't want to do it, so bollocks, we'll do our own one. They were there.
Yeah.
It's that's all. But Hollywood as a thing.
See, I don't know. So with
buying
He-Man,
franchises and just not.
so we're talking 87. So He-Man cartoon had stopped production by that point. So interest was on the wane, if you like. It was dying down. It wasn't the behemoth that it.
Yeah, but it was still.
No, but where I'm going is maybe there was something with Mattel. There was some sort of bring in some new.
Yeah,
because they're all about selling toys.
I could imagine the new characters.
We don't want. We've sold enough Trapjaw. Trapjaw. We've sold enough Bumblebees or whatever his name was. Buzz off. Yeah. So we got to keep at least one. So keep Beastman, who's done a complete injustice. Beastman is a full-on talking, coherent. He's a bit of a knobhead in the cartoon. He's always bumbling about, but at least he had the power of speech. But yes, keep Beastman, but we want you to we need some new characters to toy with. But then they didn't even do that because they never brought out any action figures for the film. Yeah. So
I can take that on board. They've made them since, I think now. The Mattel collection or whatever it is, where they're about £80 each. But I can take that on board, but it was just like, okay, we're going to make a He-Man film, but it's not going to be on Eternia. Castle Grayskull's not going to be that much. It's going to be on Earth, and we've got that chick that dances with Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're thinking about the future. So, we just said, hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And mistakes of others. And maybe, who knows, we'll get a Thundercats film as well, and a Mask film.
It's all about Mask, really, isn't it? Thundercats, if it does, yeah, cool. But Mask is the franchise they're sitting on that could just make them so much money. Come on, Hasbro, in your writing lab. I think they sacked everyone in the writing lab, so I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, they have.
But
anyway, let's not get. We've done Mask many years ago. Yeah. There's TikTok videos. It's on YouTube. Everyone knows our opinion of Mask, and it does need to be made.
But there's hope there because that last Transformers movie linked into G.I. Joe at the end. So
yeah, we didn't need to. They could have just made decent Transformers films to start with. But anyway,
that's different conversation. But it shows Hasbro has still got an interest in developing their product. That's what I'm guessing to.
Let's so fingers crossed. So verdict. I'll go to Mr. Summers first because I just want to get him away from Mask and Cobra and Mattel.
3, basically just all for Frank Langella.
Fair enough. That's solid. Mr. Hawkins.
So I'm going to give it 5. Equally for Frank Langella. There was a bit of nostalgia. Yes, there's loads of flaws to this film as well. But he did pull on some old heartstrings. Also, Connor gave it an infinity out of 10. So that kind of made me think, well, that, you know, the boy doesn't know.
That's what I was going to say. What was his view on it?
Really liked it. Infinity out of 10. But he's got none of the baggage that we do. He's just watching it as a kids' film, and he really enjoyed it. So that kind of makes me think it might not be for us people that love He-Man anymore, that you the original rather, but maybe it does stack up to be a good kids' film. You know, if you've got no baggage, it's got the corny bits, but it's a kids' film, and let's come back to maybe it's a kids' film as opposed to a family movie. You know, but yeah, if you love the series, then yeah, maybe it doesn't stack up. But if you've never seen it, you know, just added a different perspective on it for me. Yeah, it's got a load of flaws, cool, but yeah,
cool. Well, I'm giving 5 for Frank's performance because I think Frank's performance is just awesome.
It really is.
Oh, you know, I think the performance was awesome. I just think the rest of the track.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So you have to justify yourself. But so I think this is only the second time I'd watched the film. So the first time was a kid, hugely disappointed, thought it was shite. That vocabulary then, but I probably
might have done.
Yeah, but I remember it being hugely disappointing because there was none of the characters from the original. But like you've just said with Connor, watching this time round, I actually enjoyed it for what it was, which was a fantasy. I wouldn't go as far as say epic, but a fantasy film
romp.
Fantasy romp, yeah. I mean, Dolph is awful.
Yeah.
He's woeful.
Yeah.
He's, you know, even when he's in it, he's not in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, most of the battles take place with him in the background. He just blunders around with his sword and then throws a few people about.
Yeah.
And that lets it down. So based on that, I'm going to give it an Frank's performance is a 5. I'm going to give it an extra 2 points.
Ooh.
Just because I actually did enjoy watching it.
And at the same time,
I wouldn't even go as far as it's an enjoyable film, but I enjoyed watching it.
But there is that whole, you know, escapism from Eternia into present day, or well, from present day, but yeah, Earth, and it is a bit of escapism.
Yeah, I think a big letdown is it's shot entirely at night.
Because they had no money.
Yeah, potentially, but would have just been, you know, I'm not saying we want to see He-Man at the supermarket comparing car insurance prices like we did.
It would have been nice to have like a big battle with Skeletor and his forces against Earth, police and army.
Yeah.
Just to take him out.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit more than 2 police officers
Yeah.
turning up with Lubick. But anyway, so I'm giving it a 6. No, in fact, I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah. Cool.
Fair play.
So where does that put it in its in the legendary chart? Anticipation. Lost it. Oh, it puts it above last week's Beastmaster by 1 point. So it sits below Hear No Evil, See No Evil, and above Beastmaster at 15 point. Well, it's level on 15 actually with Hear No Evil, See No Evil. So not bad company.
Yeah, that's alright, I suppose. The way rain myself, but that's how the vote is. It has been decreed and it is now etched in
Well,
stone.
to be fair, Mr. Summers, you gave Hear No Evil 5 and Masters 3. So
Yeah, that's about right.
it's my 2 extra points that have lifted it above the.
It's all fine.
It's just that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the biscuit rolls. Any other
Biscuit dunks.
Yeah. That's the way the hot
That's the way the cookie opens up a portal.
Cool. So that was spotlight on Masters of the Universe. Now our spotlight revolves, spins if you like, onto a new topic.
Yeah.
And what is that topic, Paul? Help me here.
Go on, Paul.
Okay,
Where
cool.
we're going.
So, I'm going to go back to the 80s,
Whee.
a bit before He-Man, on this planet though. So, we were talking about Kurt Russell a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, okay, Kurt in the old days, bit of an action hero.
Has he got to escape somewhere?
No.
Oh.
No. And interestingly enough, just as I was
Because he
thinking
picks a
about,
fight in the dumbest of places.
just as I was thinking about a different film,
Is he on a boat?
a friend of the Cult Faction podcast posted on Facebook that he was watching a different Kurt Russell film, labelled it the best film ever. So I thought, whilst he didn't actually post to the Cult Faction podcast, by definition, friends on Facebook, I'm going to take that as a nomination, and I agree, it's worth a rewatch.
Fair enough.
So I'm going back to 1982. David Carpenter's The Thing.
Who's David Carpenter?
Oh, sorry. No. John Carpenter. Sorry. John Carpenter. Yeah, I was getting confused between David Cronenberg for a minute. Yeah, that would be a good film. Cronenberg and
I've seen
Carpenter.
John Carpenter's with David.
Yeah, so John
Not seen that
Carpenter's
version.
The Thing, 1982. It's available on Prime. It's available on Apple TV. I think you have to rent it for like $3.50 or something. But I thought this would be a good one. I've probably seen.
Well, to be fair, we haven't done a horror film for a while, so
And it's probably one of those ones that it's on TV live every 6 years or something. I know if it's on, I will watch it.
yeah.
But it's normally late at night after I've had a few. So I thought, actually, I'm going to watch this
You're going to watch it sober.
for the Cult Faction podcast, just to see if it stands the test of time. Because it'd be interesting. Yes, they did a remake or a prequel a few years ago, but original, does it stack up?
Yeah, Keith David as well. I'm sure it is it now. But yeah, no, I'm up for that.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm not going to veto that.
Cool.
I've watched it for a while, so
I think we've got it.
yeah.
I think we've got the Arrow one. So I'm just thinking there might be a few extras on there that help with the podcast. Do a bit of research if we get time to watch them.
Cool. Okay, dokey.
Okay,
Okay,
friends. There's a werewolf coming.
Yeah, don't start. Right, as usual, don't forget to rate and review us on your preferred podcast app. Although, you know, there's only 2 left now, I think. Apple and Spotify. But either way, rate and review us. It all helps. It gets us out there. It puts it under people's noses.
Does it?
Yeah,
Is that
something
so?
like that. I don't know. It is now.
You could like and subscribe as
It
well on
opens a
YouTube.
cosmic key into our podcast.
Yeah. Yep, as Paul says, like and subscribe. Find us on X, YouTube,
I forgot about X.
yeah,
Instagram,
Facebook,
TikTok.
all of the socials. We are proper social animals. We love being social.
Yeah.
And if you want the latest reviews and news, you can visit our mothership. I was about to say Love Shack. You can. I was going to say
Whoa,
you can visit our Love Shack.
We're here now.
we're really social. Come and visit our Love Shack. Yeah.
I should not drink whilst I'm doing this recording. Yeah, so our mothership, Brett, is
cultfaction.com.
and along with all the socials where you can leave comments, you can also email us at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Ah,
So there we have it, gentlemen. That was the spotlight on Masters of the Universe. I have been your host, Damien Hicks. I've been ably joined by
Paul Hawkins.
and
Brett Summers.
there's nothing more to say other than good journey.
And we have the power.
I'll be back.
Superman.